evening, everyone. Um, really enjoyed the reading this week. Deacon's work is amazing. I found the symbol concept to be quite a challenging piece of literature, but I got through it. It was my first time really tangling with the features academically of a real semiotic theory. So I enjoyed it. I always thought semiotics was a cool idea, cool group of analyses, and now I finally got to work with one model. So let's talk about some of my questions and things I want to kind of see cleared up. So the first thing is, Deacon mentions that in considering how language and symbol manipulation could have occurred in the human species, that one of the problems is that it's kind of like, what wouldn't be helped by having language. And, I wonder the same thing about semiotics, right? Like, what could semiotics not address if you had a good semiotic theory? And that always unnerves me a bit, right? Y'all may have picked up the fact that I'm a little unnerved by meta-narratives. So to clear those up, I think we should ask a couple questions and see how the theory fares under these questions. So Deacon suggests in Chapter 3 of The Symbolic Species that a correct model of semiotics will deliver some answers, perhaps, to some outstanding questions. One of the things he discusses is the fact that we humans don't have uniquely designed neurological structures for language, at least in comparison to other mammals. So at least in principle, we should see that other mammals have the capacity for language, which we do in part see, at least in the book, with Austin and Sherman. He also implies that this should shed some light on atypicality, and specifically perhaps on autism. I think that's a very interesting angle that some research could go into. I'd be very interested to see that. He suggests as well that this model, or a correct model, would shed light on language learning. Now, we explored language learning in the very abstract. I would be excited to see if actual practitioners of language education or something similar are able to use these concepts in an instrumental way to engender real results on the day-to-day basis of language teaching and language acquisition. And another important thing that I think would definitely benefit the theory would be if I were 100% on what Deacon says when he says that, quote, Locke, Hume, Kant, Hegel, and others, end quote, have all more or less accepted the same-ish triadic relationship, that of similarity, continuity correlation, and law causality convention. That very well may be true. I don't know. But if it were true, it would imply that this really important triadic relationship has been prefigured by some of the greatest minds in the Western tradition. And I think that would be a major boon to the theory's success and legitimacy. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And to close, I want to ask a question that is actually really a question from last week. And it is, so if we have a computer, a binary computer, and we program an autogen into that computer, program of an autogen, which I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be possible to do. Autogens are quite simple. And then we left that computer alone. Would the computer now have information in it, in virtue of the fact that it contains this rudimentary information-bearing dynamical system? I don't know. You tell me. Thanks.